Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Good morning, Kathy Evans. How you doing this morning? Good to have you. The phone lines are open if you want to be a part of the conversation. We got a lot of things we're going to cover today. All you have to do is give us a call, 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We would absolutely love to have your input on what we're going to talk about and the topics we're going to talk about today. Again, 508-924-3521. Let me take a pause. Let me take a pause for the calls because I got to say good morning to my brother from another mother, but we got the same father. This is Captain Leonard. Good morning, young lady. Oh, Lord. Good morning, sir. I'm talking about good Lord, young lady, Lord Jesus. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Boy, look here. My eyes might be messing up or something this morning. I don't know. But let me I got a couple of things I want to talk to you about before we get to our topic for today. I got a couple of things. One thing I want to talk about, Leonard, is I was listening to the radio this morning,
Mhm.
and this fella called in and he asked a question. He said, "Man, me and my wife been married. I think he said about 5 years, 5 to 6 years, something like that. And she's always been real natural throughout the marriage. She said, no makeup and all that stuff. None of that stuff. She's natural. Got this other job, and a few months in having that job, now she's wearing all kind of he called it on war paint, makeup paint, and all kind of stuff. He called it. He said she's wearing all this stuff and hair and all this stuff done and dressing different and he said he had a conversation with her and she said what she said was the ladies on the job are very competitive and she's trying to keep up with the ladies on the job. He think him being a guy, he think that she's interested in somebody else on the job. Does that necessarily mean that, Leonard?
Yes, yes.
So you think that she's interested in somebody else on the job?
She told him that.
Well,
Didn't she say those other women were very competitive?
yes, uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
That's why
See,
she's doing it.
so it's not because she's interested in the eye of some other guy.
Well, she's interested in the eye of those other women.
Mm. Wow. I didn't see you going that way. Um, when you say she's interested in the eye, for my clarity, when you say she's interested in the eye of those other women, it's not no relationship type thing. It's just that she wants to compete and be on the same level, pretty much. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
that's
Because
why
I,
she. That's why she's doing that.
so you don't think that is some guy there because seemed to think that she's interested in some other guy. And a lot of time guys do that, man. When the lady change something, her normal routine is almost automatically some guys to think that, oh, she interested in somebody else. She's seeing somebody else. That little jealousy thing that jumps into their head, man, which is to me the craziest thing in the world. But what do you say to that, Leonard?
I mean, if you can think about what you want to think,
Mm-hmm.
if you asked her and that's what she told you, then it's nothing that she's really trying to hide about the fact.
Mm-hmm.
She would
Mm-hmm.
have completely denied anything.
Yeah. Yeah, she would have denied it now.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's common for women to do that.
The lie.
Oh yeah, they'll do that too. But the whole dressing up thing and the
Mm-hmm.
makeup and all that type of thing, it's
Mm.
they're very competitive,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I
unlike
can.
anything I've ever seen before in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Women
So
are
basically,
extremely competitive with other women.
she ain't gonna let this other lady or any other lady outdress her or look better than her on the job.
Right. Or she's going to
Wow.
try to fit in. Maybe she's the only one and everybody else looks a certain way and she looks this one way.
Mm-hmm.
And if she believes the way she looked, is going to get her to be taken less serious or anything of that nature is the reason why she's changing to fit in with her surroundings.
Mm. Whatever happened to individuality?
Well, that's not big in the workplace.
Mm.
Not in any corporate America setting, really. That's
Mm.
not a big deal. Being a team player is a bigger deal for most people. You never know what type of um, incentive programs they may have or something like that.
It sounds like it sounds like her husband was saying in a nutshell. We got a goddess and Badger here. I want to go to them as well. But and the phone lines are open. Give us a call 508-924-3521. I had to think of the last two numbers, Lord Jesus. 508-924-3521. But Leonard, it sounded like he was saying his wife was at that point before she went through the transformation a plain Jane.
Mhm.
Do you think they get looked over?
No, it just is. It's just the environment where she's at.
Mm-hmm.
He might want to check out what is her environment instead of just jumping to, because if you think she's seeing somebody else, then you have other issues.
A lot of issues, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you have a lot of other issues.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't uncommon for people to change how they look to fit in. What if the dress code and everything changed, or something like that, or if every other woman was wearing business suits,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe she wanted to dress like everyone else. It's like, say, for instance, business casual. For instance,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's expected to be a certain way when you say business casual. Especially men know what
Yeah.
business casual means. Usually,
Mm-hmm.
it means no tie.
Yeah.
You
Slacks.
can
Slap
exactly.
button down. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stuff like that. So one, it could be just that. But if he want to automatically jump to she's seeing somebody else, something must be wrong with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I
God
don't,
is
I don't see what the big difference would be.
mm-hmm. God is what do you say about that, man? All of a sudden she got this job and she was a plain Jane from what he say. And now she's makeup and she's dressing differently and hair, wigs went and that's another thing. He said she wearing all these wigs all the time and different kind of wigs and this and that. Should he be God? Should he? And good morning. How I doing this morning? Should he be worried, or is that just something that she's doing for the job? Goddess, I think God is having some issues with her line there, so we'll come back to her. Badger, what do you say to that? Do you think he should worry?
I mean, oh, that sounds like a weird situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't. I'm trying to like to me it's you put people put themselves in their own situations.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to worry about things like that, then make sure you're not with someone that worries about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's simple.
Mm. But see, they've been married for quite a few years, and she's been a certain way the whole time they've been married. She get the job, and then a few months into being on the job, now she's changing her whole appearance, wearing wigs and makeup and all this and all that, and dressing differently. And he called in the radio. He think that she's cheating or have something in her heart to do. Does it always have to be that?
I'd have to say no. It doesn't always have to be that. It's just in this day and age, it probably has something to do with money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible she might, because she's wearing nicer clothes, she got a promotion. However, I'll, at least from my understanding and what I've been told and have seen, a lot of times it's depends on how greedy somebody wants to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
like if I asked her anything, it'd be Well, you're dressing up a whole lot prettier than when you first started. What changed?
Mhm.
However, I'm so open with my wife. If we were in that situation, my wife would let me know whatever's going on. So
Mhm.
once again, it boils down to, you know, the situation you choose to allow yourself in.
Mhm. Mhm. That's good. That's good. God is good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now. What do you think about that, God? Is from a female standpoint. Do you think does he have reason to worry?
I would say no,
Mhm.
because self love, you can't love somebody else if you don't love yourself. And if
Mhm.
you're loving yourself and evidently learning who she is, everybody grows differently. And
Mhm.
long as you are still growing together, uh, and not growing apart, it doesn't look like she will be growing apart. She's just learning who she is. She's finding out more who she is and what
Mhm.
she likes. Sometimes change is good. So, and if she chooses to want to start wearing wigs and all that, actually, wigs are not just used for looks, it's used for getting up quickly. Maybe she has to get up, fix breakfast for the kids and um, breakfast for the husband and do everything. And she wants to look more presentable at work.
Mhm.
Sometimes slapping it back in a ponytail is just not feasible for a corporate environment, especially if you have to go do presentations. Black women, uh, when we go to the beauty shop, we're spending 4 and 5 hours at the beauty shop. That's a
Mhm.
lot of time that we can be utilizing in other ways. I know that these are just some challenges that I had as a mother, as a parent, as a wife, and I had to go in and always still look perceptional. So I didn't have time every Friday because I had basketball games, or every Saturday because I had games to be there with my kids to sit up and spend 5 hours. So yeah, I had like 3 or 4 different wigs, and I would slap one right on and go to work and look
Mhm.
professional with the next suit on and do whatever presentations that need to be done. And then when I came home, I took my hair off, and me and my husband was back to who I was.
Mhm.
So
So do you think to a certain degree it's an idea of becoming somebody else, not in the sense of you actually becoming another identity or just the persona of becoming somebody else, is why she's doing all these things with the makeup, the wigs, and a different dress, trying to fit into that work environment. Do you think that's a part of it, or could be,
I,
Goddess?
I don't think it's becoming nobody else. I just think that it's just actually a change. I mean, just like you got certain women that cover their heads. It's actually a religion to cover your head, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's some women that just cover their heads, and you're not really supposed to let everybody know how your personal persona is.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that. I don't know. It has to depends on that individual. I never went to the far part as wearing makeup, but like I got a professional women magazine shoot. Will I put makeup on then? Yes, I will. Am I becoming somebody else? No, I'm not. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being the better me that I can portray that others will assume. When you take pictures, it shows a whole different person once you got makeup on. And you
Mm-hmm.
want to be that I don't know how to put it, but that Leonard, what's the word I'm looking for?
I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I see you over there. I got to pick on you today.
Mm-hmm.
I got to pick on you today.
That's the thing right there, man. And I'm just wondering from his standpoint what he's seeing. I understand what you all are saying, and I don't think you all are wrong, but I would love to know what he's thinking and what he's seeing from his viewpoint. Toya with a T, good morning. How you doing this morning? Toya?
Morning, morning. Hello, how you doing?
They doing good, doing good. Toya, ask you a question. Let me ask you this question. There's a couple. They've been married for quite a few years, and she got a new job. She got a new job. She's always been they've been married, like I said, 4 or 5 years, something like that. She's always been a plain Jane, just a plain Jane type situation. Get the new job. A few months end up being on the job. Now she's wearing makeup. She's wearing different wigs and dressing differently and all kind of different things. The guy called into the station. I was listening to it this morning, and he asked, "Do you think she's cheating?" Toya, what do you think that is? Do you think that has something to do with cheating? Is it just the work, the work thing that she's doing? Or what do you think it is from a female standpoint? What do you see? Should he worry?
No, well, again, you know what? Listen. Now you know I'm different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like your average female.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can't say that. But just as a human being, first of all, stop looking for signs and clues. You know, your gut gonna tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Your gut gonna tell you. You're just gonna know. You ain't gonna know why. You just gonna know. It don't matter what come out of somebody's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
They can say, no, I'm not doing it all the time. And you may not never catch them. That doesn't mean that. And that's the first thing you want to say. Oh, when people start dressing different, they start this, they start that. Oh, that means they're cheating. No, maybe she fell in love with herself.
Mm.
I was 24 years old before I started dressing like a real girl, like makeup, heels, all of that. And you know what happened? I was talking to this guy. He was a very, very handsome. I mean, one of the most handsome. I mean, LL Cool J was always okay. We're having this conversation, and when I look up, I seen this girl. Oh man, I felt like she was so doggone beautiful. She was like Beyonce beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember looking at that girl. I was real small then. I was like about 115, 120. I looked at her, and it was like when she walked down the street. You know the movies where it goes slow motion, and they be
Yes.
walking, and their hair be blowing in the air, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I need to go get me a makeover.
Mm-hmm.
And I went right on the Macy's and I got me a makeover and all this, that, and the third. Now I have been a manager for many, many years. But at that point, that's when I started dressing like a female.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make a change for myself. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm 23. I'm like, look at that girl. I'm like, oh no, I need to get myself together, honey. He ain't gonna be walking around with no tomboy looking at, oh, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
no tomboy looking, man, let me get myself together. And it had nothing to do with cheating. It had something to do with I just changed. I
Mm-hmm.
woke up one morning and I just changed. You know what I'm saying? Just like a couple of years ago. My dude asked me, why you don't get dressed up no more? I'm over it now. You know what I'm saying? I've been through so much. I'm like, listen, I don't even want to do all that no more.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you're depressed or you're cheating or anything. You have to know the individual.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know who you are dealing with to know what's going on. Depending on what age she is, maybe it's a midlife crisis. I mean, you just never know. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Some men, is it fair to say that you don't want me to get dressed up because you don't want nobody else looking at me?
And a lot of times that's
Because
what
you
it
don't want
is.
nobody else to
Yep.
want me? You know
Yep.
what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
that's not necessarily, well, I hope that's not the case on why some men don't like their women to dress up.
Insecure. Insecure. And
Yeah,
and and and
yeah.
that and, and that could very well be a big part of it right there. Leonard, are men sometimes really that insecure?
You know, I don't think it's insecure at all, but you don't be stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Men and women are different. First of all, one, it depends on what she changed into.
Mm-hmm.
But the bet I go with asking people why.
Yeah. What's the reason behind?
I don't make no assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Mm-hmm.
ask first. And you know, there are certain things that I know, like my wife, she's not into girly girl stuff like that. But I mean, I wouldn't jump to the conclusion that she was cheating.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know, like one, I don't. I'm not. I prefer natural.
Mm-hmm.
So if you come to me with a face full of makeup and you say, "How you like it?" I don't like it.
Mm-mm.
I
Not at
mean,
all.
that's not what I like. But
Mm-hmm.
I understand that women do stuff all the time. That's I mean, what I mean, if you live with one, they got all the makeup and everything. Just it's a lot of stuff because they
Mm-hmm.
like playing and stuff. and they like dressing up and stuff like that. You know, sort of like, I guess I can only relate it to like with my little sister. You know, playing dress up. You know, they have a tendency where they do that. Like, say for instance, I'm always shocked during prom time because you see these beautiful young girls, and then they put all that crap on, trying to look much, much older or provocative, I guess, and it doesn't do a lot for them. You know, it kind of takes away from their natural beauty.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
you know, women do things like that for various occasions, like weird hair colors and nail, you know, the different nail things and all that. That's feminine stuff. You know, it's not necessarily they cheating. I think you heard Goddess say she fell in love with herself, or
Yeah.
Toya kind of commented the same way. It's just
Yeah.
something that a phase she may be going through. You know.
Now let's do this right here. Toya, if the roles were reversed and it was a guy, you know, he normally playing John kind of guy, you know, don't dress up, and all of a sudden now he going to the barber shop once a week, getting his hair, you know, taken care of, and getting his mustache, his beard, all that stuff taped up and everything. And normally, you know, when y'all go to bed at night, you know, he'll take off his little clothes and it ain't nothing to see a little hole in his underwear. Now he wearing the fancy kind of drawers and all kind of stuff. Would y'all think he's cheating? Now he's putting on cologne and all kind of stuff. Would y'all think he's cheating?
No, I'm the one that made him like that. That's what that is. I'm the one. I just got there. Listen, again, I'm different. I love to buy stuff, do stuff for people, and my man, I love when I shop for me, I shop for him. So 9 times out of 10, I'm a different kind of person now. Daddy raised this kind of girl. If I'm gonna have the expectation from my man, that means that's something that I'm already doing, and I'm willing to do. So if he's getting haircuts and stuff now, that's because I done already got him like that. My thing is this: I ain't never cared about you cheating on me because you got to die 4 times, come back and live till you 84 to catch one like me. So go right on ahead, partner. Go ahead. I triple dog dare you.
Yeah.
And I'm gone. I'm up out of here. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't have those insecurities until I see you, because I know that I'm the kind of person. Just because you look at me and think I'm cheating don't mean I am. That's in your head. Because you need to focus on what kind of the character that I have. And I don't do that anymore. And I don't lie to you. If I'm sleeping with somebody, I'm gonna let you know, hey, look here, partner. Well, I seen something else I want to dibble and dabble in now. I don't know how you're gonna feel about it. You're gonna stick around as you ain't, but this is what I'm finna do. You understand what I'm saying? I'm different. So if he's changing, it's because I didn't help encourage the change. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just what I do. If I don't like what you're wearing and I feel like I want you to wear something special, and we have a conversation on what you like, that's what I'm finna buy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you ain't never had nothing. At this, let me say something. At this age in the game, at 40, you just an old rusty dust bucket at this age. But
why we got to be the old rusty dust bucket? Why we got to be the old rusty dust bucket? Why we got to be that?
Because if we at 40, bro, and you walking around here still nappy, still just ain't got no kind of class or nothing about you with your dress, something is wrong with that, bro. Like, how you gonna work for 30 years and never spend? I know it's been like this. 30 years you worked as a mechanic and you get up looking like a grease puddle every day. Don't buy no new clothes. Don't get no haircut. Don't get no nothing. You look like a country bucking grease puddle. I know people like that. You know what I'm saying? And they're older. And that's for you. I'm not going to be attracted to nobody that's looking like a grease puddle. You understand what I'm saying? But if we get together, right, and you just, listen, I'm strapped right now. You know what I'm saying? I got my house, got whatever. I ain't really got that money to really buy, you know what I'm saying, the clothes that I want. But you a decent looking person? Oh, no, I'm finna go ham in them stores. Nah, I need my baby to look like this. Because sometimes it's just a situation. You know what I'm saying? If you strapped for cash, you got child support, you got your house note, you got your car note, you got whatever, and you on a budget, sometimes you just can't buy what you want to buy. So that's different. But don't you walk over here looking like no Jeffro Bodine. After 30 years, you know what I mean? All this good money and you ain't never did nothing for yourself, no, that's a problem at 40 plus. That's a problem at 40 plus. You never cared. So when I do go buy these clothes, you're not going to wear them. And you're probably not going to just wake up one day after 30 years and be like, oh, yeah, I just don't want to look like a grease puddle. You know what I'm saying? Most men, you know, they don't do that in their 40s. You know what I'm saying? Unless, like I said, it's a midlife crisis. And maybe we had a conversation, baby, listen, you know, I love you. But for 30 years, bro, you've been making thousands of dollars a month. And you don't put on nothing. You don't do nothing like this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And when it hit his heart, you know what I'm saying? When it hit his heart, then he might get up and say, all right, well, look, my wife, I know my wife loved me. But she just said, I don't know how to dress. And that, you know what I'm saying? That made me feel some kind of way. And he got to want to get up and do something. But no, I'm not just going to think he's cheating. You got to know the character of who you're dealing with.
Good
and
deal.
If you MIA, you know, if you're not MIA and your pattern is the same, I'm not going to think cheating. I'm just going to think what's going on in your head.
Good deal. Good deal. We got a couple of people on the phone line. I want to touch those people on the phone line, but I want to go right now to Goddess. Goddess, I'm going to ask you the same question. If the roles were reversed, would you think that he was cheating or he had interest in someone else?
Oh no. I'm kind of like what my sister just said. 9 times out of 10, my dad, I'm gonna just use my dad as and then I can use my husband too, but I'm gonna use my dad because my dad was a plain Jane with some jeans and a plaid shirt, you know. That was just him. But the clothes that he had available, like he didn't care about what type of jeans. So I had credit cards when I was young, so I'm going to buy my daddy Calvin Klein jeans, and you know, I just had to show him don't just get underneath the car and start working on the car in the cars with them Calvin Klein jeans. So and we made sure that all his jeans, the only thing my daddy wanted to make sure was his jeans was starched and in the cleaners. He liked the kind that they stand up by themselves. So my dad, that was the main thing that he wanted. But my daddy, he had every type of designer suit, Sex with Avenue, Brooks Brothers, whatever designer from a fur coat. I went to Saks and used his credit card. Actually, it was mine, but it was his. And bought him a reverse leather mink jacket. Like it was just certain things that I made sure my daddy had because I was spoiled like that. And for me to walk around in fur coats, I needed my daddy to walk around like that. It was just certain things that I did. You know, I wore Gucci tennis shoes when I was young and kids before Gucci was out. Actually, I seen Lynn wearing them. She was a basketball star, but it was just certain things that I wanted to do, and I did it for my daddy. You know. Now we would have to make sure that he didn't go out there and go work in the cars and nothing like that. Now he would, and reason why I bought it because he liked riding his motorcycle in the cold, so he could wear the reverse mink on the inside and be warm. Yeah, he wore jackets to wear his motorcycle. I mean, it was just certain things. So I wouldn't suspect my daddy wanted to come home, get clean, do what he wanted to do. He had the opportunity to be able to do it. You know. It is, and then that's so far as it with my husband, the same thing. Like I wouldn't have probably never. I might would have looked at you like, "Hey, let's change some of your dress and help you out a little bit more." And if you came home, put some clothes on, okay, go do you. But because you're out here being the best person that you want to be, does not make me think that you're cheating. Your other avenues will show me that you're cheating and what you're doing and not doing. So you have to be spiritually close and know your man. You know, when he stops paying attention to you, that's when you concern yourself. That when that man is not paying attention to what your wants are and what your needs are, and his mindset is everywhere else and not on you as a husband. When he comes in, he's not doing his normal things like kissing you, good morning, and getting up doing breakfast, and hey babe, I got something planned for us for this weekend. Just those kind of habits, not how you dress, because that doesn't mean anything. That's very shallow.
Exactly. We got a few people on the phone line. I want to touch a few people on the phone line. Let me go to Monique. Monique, what do you say to this whole situation? I know you've been listening for a minute. What's on your heart? Is it cheating or is it just insecurity?
I don't think it's either. You know, I think so. I guess it all depends on which question in terms of the woman changing her look. I
Mm-hmm.
think that because she got a new job. I think it could be maybe somebody said something at the job. Because for myself, I'm a plain Jane. Been that way forever,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had people approach me, at work, like, can you bring it up a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so it could be that, more so than anything, especially if it's a corporate, job.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see, for the woman, changing. But, for a man, if he decides to up his clothing. I don't know. I don't see it as that he's cheating. It has to be a combination of other things
Mm-hmm.
for me to say that okay, he's out there, cheating, because he changing up everything. From what my experiences, it's more than just him changing his clothes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
It
but
could
that's
be. It
how I
could.
see it. I don't think it's insecurity. I think when you notice somebody change, you know, something about themselves, it probably will like, okay, what's going on? But not
Mm-hmm.
this I wouldn't run to cheating,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
not for clothes.
Got you. Got you. We're gonna go to Curtis, and then we're gonna go to Cassandra. So Cassandra, be on standby. Curtis asking a question this morning. Where we started off talking about the young man he called into a radio station this morning, and he was saying he's been with this young lady. They've been together, been married 4 or 5 years, and she got this new job. A few months after being into this job, now all of a sudden, this plain Jane is wearing wigs and makeup and dressing differently and all kind of different things. He thinks she's cheating. Curtis, doesn't necessarily mean that she's cheating. Curtis?
You kidding? Man?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
She's wearing wigs and started wearing all kind of different wigs. Curtis, she putting on all this makeup, perfume, and doing all kind of fancy things. Man, she's changed. She went from a plain Jane to a Beyonce. Is she cheating,
And
Curtis?
you saying right? You say she just got a new job, right?
Yeah. Yeah, all this happened after she got the job. Months after she got the job, that's when she started doing all the other things. These other things.
Well,
Talk to me.
maybe she coming into her greater self, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did he think about that? Maybe she got to that job and she saw everybody, all the women in there, hair flayed, makeup laid, done up like a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Mm-hmm. So he don't have anything to worry
uh,
about.
Speaking honestly, that sounds like Shorty feel like he's scared to lose a certain level of control that he had when she was just playing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was playing. He didn't worry too much about people looking at him.
Yeah.
Now that she done up, all of a sudden there's a worry that people gonna be looking at her.
Mm-hmm.
That just sounds ridiculous, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it happens. I've heard stories about it happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I just think Shorty just got a real
issue.
personal insecurity.
Now, Curtis, let me flip it on you. If the roles were reversed and the guy started, all of a sudden he was a plain Jane, didn't care nothing about his looks and his appearance, all this stuff. He gets the new job, and now he's going to the barbershop every week, making sure his mustache, beard is all like it's supposed to be, dressing differently, dressing more flashy, more cologne and everything. Now, could it mean that he's saw something in that office that sparked some interest in him?
No, like once again, We're not gonna separate this thing, man and women.
Mm-hmm.
My daddy taught me a long time ago. Woman can mess around on you for 30 years. You'll never know about it. You know, brother may just could be recognizing that, yo, I gotta step my game. I gotta step my whole demeanor up. People, the one thing that I've learned over the years is people do what other people around them do. So if all of a sudden at the job he noticing, right, that like, okay, ain't nobody really speaking to me, and blah, 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 blah. He might catch on. He might see you right here, like the way right here you dress. Let me try, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean that he's messing around. It could, or he could be going through a midlife crisis where it's like, oh, I got to do better than this. You don't know what's going on. You can't just automatically assume that, oh, he messing around, because you might find yourself by yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Because with everything he's doing is that he realized that you actually want more, you expect more of him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's transit. Like he say, well, man, you know what, my girl deserves better than this. We just be walking around here looking like who did it, why they did it, when they did it, and they didn't want to do it at all. So let me step my game up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My girl going to work. You know, he might have dropped you off at work one day and saw them dudes walking there. Like, oh no, I better hit my car. You know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Let me. Mm-hmm. Let me go to Cassandra. What do you say to that? What do you say in this whole scenario? And good morning, Cassandra.
Good morning. It may have nothing to do with, I'm like most of the panel, it may have nothing to do with anyone cheating or having a thought to cheat. Sometimes people just realize that they need to do better or they can do better.
Mm-hmm.
And they just make those moves to do that. I used to work with this teacher really quickly. I worked with this teacher one time. She was gorgeous, and she had long, pretty hair, pretty face, you know, just a really pretty woman. But her self-esteem, she used to dress like an old, what do you call her, frumpy, like real old looking, like an old lady.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is this girl dressing like this? And just one day, it was like, God told me to go in your closet and pull out stuff for her. And I went in and I think I bought her about 3 green bags full of clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And she started dressing, and, you know, her whole attitude. I mean, she started like doing her hair. Once she got the clothes, she started doing her hair. And she finally told me, she said, you know, my husband always talked down to me. He was verbally abusive. He wasn't physically abusive, but he made her feel like she was ugly, so
Yeah.
she just dressed ugly. She dressed like an old woman. But man, when I tell you that chick right now, her and I are friends on Facebook. That chick's so sharp right now. Every time you see her, she's sharp. Sometimes people are going through things that, you know, make them need to make a change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
I'm like, I agree with other folks when they say, especially the women, because they're telling you why they do things. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, working with women, women compete a lot more with that type of thing. And like Miss Cassandra brought up, it could be something else that's causing somebody to dress a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only time that I'm going to, even like sometimes, like when my wife wear different things, because I'm so direct, you know, I let her know if I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but then again, I can tell when a woman live with a man or not
Mm-hmm. And how's that?
by the way she leave the house
Mm.
sometimes. So
Mm-hmm.
what only thing you can't have your business out in the street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, it ain't like this girl went to wearing a bikini to work or whatever. She just started taking care of herself a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, and because I'm so used to when, like, boy, sometimes just the wigs alone, just wigs alone could be a different woman every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's some women keep this. I know, like one woman, I used to tell her, man, ever since I met you, you've always had the same hairstyle. It's always just right. Never changed. It was when I tell you this girl wore her hair the same way, I know for 2 or 3 years when I saw her. Because that she had found that's what she liked. That's the cut she liked.
Yeah.
And it was attractive on her. So, you notice certain women do certain things. Certain women just love wearing heels. My wife don't, Certain women love wearing clothes where their shoulders are out. There's so many different things they do. And I say that because of working in corporate America and writing the dress code and things like that. About how women want to dress or what they want to look like. You see some women come to work, you be like, this ain't even this nightclub attire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
even so much as in school. They send little girls home. Or their parents have to come and bring them other clothes sometimes. Because they may be exposing themselves. That's different.
Yeah.
That's different. Usually if she's just washing her face, putting on a little makeup and stuff like that, I mean, you don't jump to shoot cheating. I mean, you crazy if you do that. But it just, one of the best things about women is that they change so much sometimes. They all different times. Like Toya say, if you gonna be her man, you gonna have to be looking like something. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women are like that. I used to have a tendency to be, I guess some people would say, a little flashy sometimes. But if that's if you catch me in that environment.
Yeah.
I can't imagine sitting around in gold chains and rings and stuff all day. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Or switching your watch, for instance. Or wearing matching jewelry. And things of that nature. Like I have some expensive jewelry, and then I got one little ring I like to wear. It's the cheapest little thing. But I just like it.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just the person, I guess. Now we know wild stuff when we see it. If you just getting a little too wild now, that's on you and your man. Whatever your man is okay with.
Let me wind you back in a little bit. Hold on now. Let me wind you back in because you're going a little too far with this thing.
But I'm just saying, if I walk into the bank and you a teller and it look like y'all selling titties today, there's gonna be a problem.
Lord. We're gonna jump to another topic. Anybody else have anything they want to say on this one right here before we move on? And the phone lines are open 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Anybody else have anything on this particular topic before we move on? Good deal. Cassandra, something disturbed me. I was disturbed this morning. When I woke up, I was getting dressed. I turned the TV on and I watched the news while I'm getting dressed. Cassandra, you there? Cassandra?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
I was disturbed this morning. And it appears as though there's in one of the neighborhoods here in Atlanta, there was a shooting. They had a little shootout. And a lot of times what happened is someone innocent end up getting hit by a bullet. And that's what happened last night, early this morning. It just so happened that it was a 6-month-old, beautiful little baby. Little boy lost his life because somebody wanted to shoot at each other. And they whatever they was doing, they were shooting at each other in the neighborhood. And the baby got hit, 6 months old, and lost his life. Cassandra, that's heartbreaking to me. What's on your heart, sis? And what they say on the news, this is the second baby under 6 years old that lost their life within the last 3 months. That's too much. Go ahead, Cassandra.
Yeah, you know, this actually makes me want to cry because, and this is what we do in our own community. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and you know, I don't know. You know, I'm tired of hearing these stories over and over and over again. And those of us that are trying to do something that are out in the community that are talking to people, it's like we ain't talking to the right people. Something's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's like the respect for life and I'm sorry, in our community is so small to me. It just I don't know. It hurts me. I didn't hear about that, but I've seen it every day in our communities. We hear about us killing us, and
Mm-hmm.
then we complaining about other people killing us.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, okay, I can't. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It sickens me. It
Absolutely.
sickens me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Curtis, 6 month, beautiful little boy, little boy, 6 months, innocent, ain't had nothing to do with none of this, had nothing to do with none of this, and now he's dead this morning. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Curtis, you there?
Raheem,
Yes.
live in Charm City, man. It's gonna happen 4 times in the last week and a half.
Wow. Kids.
Yeah, it's gonna happen 4 times in the last week and a half, bro. Real talk. Real talk, man. I'm getting tired of it. And I'm really getting tired. You know, like I don't know if y'all been getting the press, but you know, now half these people that's getting shot up, you know, they finding out that you can't even trace the guns
Mm-hmm.
because they're coming from those guns.
Mm-hmm.
That's a gun that you purchase online. That's realistically, it's like a Glock. It's all plastic, and you come with instructions, and you assemble the gun at home.
Mm-hmm.
There's no serial numbers on the gun or nothing, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, man. I know that you have some gun enthusiasts that listen to this show. I know you got some gun enthusiasts that are a panel. You know, and to a small degree, I'm a gun enthusiast. But enough is enough, man. I mean, we got a mental health crisis going on, and yet those very same people that are walking around here with undiagnosed mental health issues, those very same people are allowed to go and buy guns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got a nation full of angry people, man. Well, why are they angry? Why are folk really so angry? Why is the black community killing itself off? What is really going on?
Mm.
What is really going on? Some people say, oh, well, we living in the end of days. Okay, if we living in the end of days, our end ain't got to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we living in the end of days, I wish somebody would tell folks that Revelations don't say that the world's just boom and it's gone, it's over with. That's not what Revelation says.
Mm-hmm.
Revelation says that the world for which we know will no longer exist.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Some
Exactly.
these folk living like, well, it's all over anyway. Man, come on, man. I mean, Obama told us this back in 2009. He
Mm-hmm.
told the whole entire country, look, your major gun route is Highway 81, 70, and Highway 5.
Mm-hmm.
He told the whole country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your major sellers are coming out of Tennessee. He told the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
shot it down. They dispelled it. And guess what happened here in the state of Maryland? the same week he said it, we caught 2 vans coming up 81 from Tennessee that was full of guns.
Wow. Let me go to and this is crazy, man, and to a certain degree, I think people may be kind of getting immune to it, man, which is a terrible thing. God, is what's going on in your neck of the woods, man. We had 2 in the last 3 months here, babies. Curtis said he done has X amount of then Baltimore. What's going on your side of town?
We didn't have several as well. But the point of the matter is that I don't care if they're babies. I don't care if they 18, 19. I don't care. It bothers me that anybody gets killed. And especially as, a problem because they are just total innocents. But my point is that we have to get to an understanding and start checking our kids, start checking our nephews, start checking our friends' kids. We have got to get to that situation because we have to understand that we're up against a war. And the war and the war that we have that's against us is not just that they're those that are against us, because you got white supremacy, but you got racism. So we're playing in tune to exactly what they want. We're doing everything. We're playing in tune to exactly what they want. And sit back. Oh, okay. Well, this person already got rid of. Hey, they didn't did our jobs for us, And we have got to start teaching our kids how to love each other and how to deal with conflict resolution and mediation.
That's good.
Some
That's
of them
good.
are so soft because they don't have men in their households, and the women are just not making these boys men. And I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying some of them. Because I have a neighbor across the street. She got 4 boys. Them boys are learning how to become men now. But the wrong woman, some of them make their kids a little bit more sensitive than what they are. And that's why they going out getting girlfriends, can't handle it, and want to shoot and kill their girlfriends.
Wow. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart? What do you say to this, man? These kids, man. Kids are getting killed. Kids.
Yeah. It's our own fault. Looking at everything, the way laws are being passed, which ones are being passed, the fact that some people are more focused on one thing instead of the important things. It's unfortunately, it's us. It's us in our communities. It's us not, getting everyone together. The ones of us that know better. Yesterday, I had a very enlightening conversation. I went to a restaurant. I grabbed me a burger, and I was talking to the cashier and the person that was running it because I helped find. I was helping them fight for this graveyard that was found. And I was pretty much threatened to stay out of it by the politicians in the area. And the realization that I had was how many people, the people that I talked to, had no idea of the laws that were passed, didn't know what was going on in the county that we live in, didn't know how much the shootings were and stuff because they're so busy trying to make a living. They're so busy with their own world that they don't have time for their neighbors. They don't have time for their community because they need to put money in their pockets to be able to have their house.
Wow.
So it's sad. It's sad that this stuff is happening. It's sad at the fact that people are getting so angry and upset over. I mean, it wouldn't have surprised me if it was someone that had a different political view versus someone else. Now they're just shooting each other. And as far as the guns that that was brought up about that can't be traced, there was literally a documentary on Netflix of how it's done. And you're telling me that our government can't stop it?
Exactly.
When they allowed this documentary, like, these people were allowed to go where these guns were being made, and even showed how they were being shipped, and they can't stop them. This powerful country, quotation marks, can't stop guns from being brought in. Can't stop some of the drugs being brought in. Really?
Wow, doesn't make sense, does it? Doesn't make sense at all. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? The a 6-month-old baby hadn't even started living. Leonard, gunplay has taken their life. What's on your heart, Leonard?
Well, I'm a lot like Goddess when it comes to this point. It doesn't matter to me whether it's a child or not. It depends on the fact that it was another accidental shooting. And how people are going to deal with things is a better conversation. You know, I'm not going to sit around and cry about the fact. What is the next step? What do you do? How do you stop it? New Order will be at the Capitol in Montgomery, Alabama, due to the increased amount of gun violence there on February the 4th, where the mayor of Montgomery himself also is focusing more on crime and things going on in that particular city. And, you know, first of all, you have to rearrange your legal system. And it should be a great enough deterrent to people. But you're going to have to set an example.
Yes.
And your community has been against this example since the, the 94 crime bill, I believe. Y'all been a little two-faced. One moment you say it's a problem, and then the next moment you say you're being singled out because of race. So you can't have it both ways.
Pick a side, basically.
What you can do is you can be tough on crime. Same way, across the board, for everybody. There shouldn't even be a bail system when it comes to murder. There should be no bail. Because all that means is that rich people walk out of their jail and poor people don't. What are you doing to those people that get caught up into these types of things? Are you looking for alternatives for them? Or one, are you going to punish them for what they did? That's the problem. If you can get away with it, that's why people do certain things. There are some people that go in and out of jail so much going to jail don't even matter to them. Hit them with life sentences.
Like a revolving door.
Yeah,
like a revolving door.
Hit them with life sentences. Because what I don't believe in is that giving one citizen the right to completely harass and torment other citizens. This happened with a drive-by. But you can't find, but you still you still don't have anyone in custody. So, you know, these things have been, they just specific to this one child. This happens to be the child that's on the news.
You saw it this morning?
I read the story. But, you know, this has become very common. And it leads to that debate as well related to weapons, where you have certain individuals that shouldn't have weapons, but that ain't never stopped them. You understand what I'm saying? So you legislating against law-abiding citizens, trying to stop criminals.
Exactly.
I mean, what do you expect? If you can shoot somebody and get away with it, or walk out because you got enough money to pay bail. That's not a big enough deterrent for people.
No.
Look at those individuals who have records that are not supposed to have handguns. Some people, some of them pay attention, but a lot of them don't.
Yeah.
I know people who have done terrible things and been on parole and was in the house with somebody with a gun and they had to go to jail. So we have to do a better job at punishing people that are responsible for these types of things. And you can't sit there and then come up with some sob story and then turn them right back onto the streets.
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. How do you feel about this gun situation going on when you have kids? This 6-month baby, beautiful little baby, lost his life because some people wanted to have a gunfight in the middle of the town, in the middle of the city, in the middle of the street. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis. What's on your heart?
Well, you know, any loss of life, right, is tragic. But you got to keep in mind that that's the way we keep this country safe. When we go fight in wars, we kill a lot of innocent women and children that didn't have anything to do with it. You know, and that's a loss of life because that's our job. You know, as soldiers, we tell us to go do things to defend our country. But the unfortunate part is that that's a part of life and humanity, right? The same thing that goes on over here. You know, I'm alphabet and say life, you know, probably to like a lion or a zebra that came through, you know, or even their way of whatever they do with their police that go through villages and rip through it. You know what I'm saying? We all go through this in humanity as just being humans, right? And it is sad. But I just got to go back to my God. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, we are all here. We came from heaven first before we even came in its flesh.
Yeah.
Right. And when we get in a situation to where we leave here, that I believe that that's where we go back to. We go back to the place where we were in the beginning. And I believe that is with our God. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned how not to take it so personal when any form of life leaves here. However, when it comes to the toxicity of what we do to ourselves in America, right? Because we're supposed to be so civilized, even though we're not with these things that are going on. I've been thinking about this a long time. Something ain't right. I remember when I was younger, things weren't as bad, but the same things happened. But it seems like something's different now, and I can't figure out what it is. But Kirk said something earlier about the mental health. And, you know, I believe that you have to be mentally disturbed to feel the need to want to pick up a gun or something and shoot somebody and kill them. I mean, we all get pushed to that point in different situations, but we never actually do it because of consequences. But when you really can get yourself in a position to want to kill another life, take the life from another human being because of anger or whatever the reason is, I think that's a mental issue. A human shouldn't feel like doing that and be comfortable with doing that. But we have these circumstances in just life and humanity where this is what we do, right? And this is what this is a case of. There are a lot of cases where it's unheard of about the people who die from gun loss, from car accidents, from, you know what I'm saying? So much COVID, corona, people, it's a lot. And it all hurts the same. It all hurts the same. The people who are on TV that we hear about, the people that you didn't hear about, didn't know about, hurt the same as those people. And I think we forget that.
Exactly.
We all lose people, you know what I'm saying? For different reasons. But this specific gun issue here, how can we control that? How can the government control it? What can they do? I can go get a gun right now just because and ain't got no license. But how can anything control me getting up one day going to shoot up everything? If I could do that tomorrow, would any of y'all have seen that coming? Ever thought, oh wow, she did that? No.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. Nothing can control a person's actions in doing that. And especially in this day and age. We all know better. The people that commit these crimes, they know better. They know it's crime, and they don't care.
And
right?
See, and that's the sad. And that's the sad part.
Right now that is the trick of the devil. That is something that he does to us. And I remember having that mentality: burn this whole place up, everybody in it, boy. But I've learned that is the devil. You're not supposed to want to feel that way, and when you do, you should immediately rebuke that and walk away. You understand what I'm saying? So these issues that we're facing, These are some serious spiritual issues that no matter what law you pass, you know what I'm saying? No matter their mama can make them stay in the house, you know what I'm saying? They kill a parent too, or a person. You can try to keep them someplace. You know, you're never going to be able to control the impulse of a human being, no matter what you can do.
Exactly.
So, you know, what is the next question?
Good deal. Good deal. 508. You're right. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Gun laws. The guns are killing the kids. People are killing. I ain't gonna say the guns are killing because somebody got to be behind the gun to pull the trigger. So people are killing these, going in the neighborhoods, shooting out each other, and now they've killed a 6-month baby, innocent baby, had nothing to do with it, but because they want to come into the neighborhood, have their dispute, and shoot up each other, shoot at each other. Rico, good morning. How you doing this morning? It's crazy, man. We lost a 6-month baby.
Man, congratulations and welcome to a beautiful new day.
Yes, sir.
I've been doing all right. I can't complain.
Hey, good deal. Congratulations to you as well, sir. Man, I heard this thing about this baby, man. They showed the baby picture on TV, man. Broke my heart, man. 6 months. People shooting at each other, man, and,
Yeah, man,
and hit the baby.
This ain't the first 6-month-old or 2-year-old or 4-year-old shot by stray bullets.
Mm-hmm.
And Leonard said something earlier that was key, man. We got to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got this thing called free will, and we use it when we choose to.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we have this situation. Curtis said it too, man. It's a mental health issue. And what has happened is black culture has been infected by white culture. And ever since white man came up with this thing called gunpowder and the gun, when he discovered and found out he could travel the world and use it for his will, when he discovered how to make bombs and he could drop them to impose his will, that became the law of the land. And see, we live in a land of hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
America is the biggest land of hypocrisy in the history of governments, countries, in my opinion, based on what the Constitution and Bill of Rights and all that says right now. But then you see how everything plays out. So now you have black culture mixed in with American culture, wild, wild west mentality. We want our guns. Second Amendment, they're going to take your guns away. Fear-mongering people. They want you to just value that gun. And so now we value that gun. But at the same time, we don't want to deal with the police because deep down inside, black people already know how the police treat black people. So we say, no snitching. No snitching. We got a no snitching policy. See, it's a culture thing. We have adopted a code. And the thing is when we make a choice to adopt a code, if we can adopt a code to live by that says no snitching, why can't we adopt codes of standards that says that we won't participate in certain behavior and activities that cause for little boys to run around here and beef with each other based off of rappers and smoking ops and all this other disrespectful mess that they uphold? And once again, it goes back to a behavior that trickled down from our behavior in the past. But at the same time, we adopted codes that we don't want to go and address. So it's an indictment on black culture. It's really an analysis, an observation of just how confused we are in our community, because we don't want this crime. We the first one to say stop snitching.
Yeah.
But then when it happened to somebody in your family, you're on TV saying, call Crime Stoppers. Somebody knows something. Somebody
sing something. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Rico.
Hello?
Yeah.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So that's really what it boils down to. Is an indictment of our culture, and it really shows how mentally confused we are. And so we can't stop what we need to stop, because some of the things we embrace encourage what we're trying to stop.
Wow, that's good.
So which way is up? Are we going to stop snitching? Or we're going to stop participating in activities where people need to be snitched on, or participate in activities where you got to have people to call Crime Stoppers right after you just told them no snitching?
Exactly. Monique, what's on your heart, sis?
Oh, I don't mean to cut anybody off, but I need to correct something.
Oh, hold on. Let me go to let me go to Monique. I'll come right back to you. Hold on. Go ahead, Monique. What's on your heart?
I wanted to agree with everybody. I think it's a little bit of everything from, you know, mental health to, but also I think some of it is you know, because I was having this conversation with somebody else, you know, why does it seem like it is more crime today? And then we were talking about maybe, you know, news media, you know, probably, you know, hype it up. Because I try to think back, you know, like 30 years ago, you know, do I remember this, you know, type of crime? Then I thought about, you know, the crack, you know, epidemic, you know, where, you know, I realized that, you know, some of these babies are now adults, you know, so you kind of operating off of some principalities here, you know, where, you know, you got crack babies, you know, and their mental health wasn't, you know, was not quite right. And then, you know, it just seemed like we had this, you know, these decades where these children were, you know, were not being technically raised. You know, the grandparents, you know, they up in age trying to raise these kids. And now some of these kids are, you know, teenagers to, you know, like grown adults. So I think we just operating off of, you know, some, you know, a weak, you know, generation of people, you know, a few generations of people here, maybe about, like I said, about a good 30 years, you know, of group of people that, you know, was probably never loved, you know, nobody never cared about them. And so they almost like dead people walking. You know, they're alive, but they, you know, no feelings, no emotions. I remember I was stationed at Fort McPherson, and there was an alternative school like right across the street from it. And, you know, we would go to like this little convenience store, and some of the kids, you know, would walk in, and, you know, and I would look in their face, and they just look like they just there, you know, hopeless, you know. So I think we you know, there's something going on where these people, they don't care about themselves, so they're not going to care about the next person. So
wow.
I think it's, you know, a combination of things. I don't think it's just one pinpoint thing. You know, people hungry, they don't have no money, you know, they were probably abused. It's just so many things, you know, especially in the Black community, because, you know, we want to keep everything hush hush, hope it don't get out to nobody. And, you know, these kids are, you know, suffering. You know, even the girls are, you know, operating on some low level energy as well too. So it's just something is, you know, in the air.
Yeah, something is definitely in the air. Badger, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. Rico, did you say white man created guns? Rico.
We'll clarify that. When Marco Polo discovered it from China, when he discovered gunpowder, when he discovered the gun, and he came from China with gunpowder and took it around the world. That's what white people used. That's what the Caucasian used, the European, to conquer the world. When they went to Hong Kong and China, all these different countries, and you see them on these old movies, the people of the land go and they answer to the white man. That was the reason why. When they took Hawaii, they took Hawaii with weapons. Guns progressed to bombs. And that's the same process that they use today. So yeah, with that mentality, that mindset, you know, I saw a video yesterday where two Chinese people were in conflict with each other. It was so funny. They were using spit as punches, but they refused to put their hands up. They refused to put their hands on each other. So both of them just spit in each other's face like 12 times in a row. It was the most ridiculous thing I ever seen. Two.
Good
But
Lord.
then see some lazy person came up with this gun and made it so quick and easy for you to get your way and stop a problem instead of having hand-to-hand conflict. That it's so convenient. I mean, Monique just said it. It's so many different levels to why people do this. It's convenient to use a gun.
Yeah.
So people favor a gun. They can end their problem so much quicker. And we live in a world in a society where convenience rules everything. Because don't nobody want to spend a whole lot of time doing nothing they don't want to be bothered with. So if they got an issue or a problem, they're going to grab that gun. They don't want to fight.
Yeah.
You hear people get a certain age and they'll tell you in a heartbeat, man, I ain't skinning my knuckles up no more. I ain't in shape to fight no more. I ain't gonna last 30 seconds. Come mess with me if you want to, and I'm gonna lay you down right there.
Yep.
So the first person to say it ain't the only person to say it. So that's a mindset. Like I said, it's a mental mindset.
So pretty much what I was getting at was, I asked him about it, and then he said, "Oh, they got it from China." A lot of them people were Spaniards. So it's interesting to me. I was having a conversation with a pastor the other couple of days ago, and I was asking him a lot of questions about a lot of this stuff because I'm confused by a lot of the terminologies people use. It's just one of my own struggles and just trying to understand. And I even talk about it with Leonard from time to time, when we're not talking about other things. It looking at the fact of the way something was said and something was presented. Using that as an example. Rico immediately said that white man made the gun. Until I went, is that what you said? Because they didn't make it. They didn't even know about gunpowder until the Silk Road. China was the first one to use it because they were making fireworks, and then someone in power went, "Oh, I can use this to kill a whole bunch of people. So let's make guns. Let's use the gunpowder to shoot things out of something and, take over land." And then people in England or Spain and all that other stuff went, that's a good idea. Let's adapt that system and bring them over here and continue making them here. So, like, a lot of things have been adopted by people in power all over the world for different purposes. So it's my issue is a lot of times, in my perspective, what I hear is putting the blame on everyone else and not on ourselves.
Okay. Let me go to who haven't I touched in a minute. Let me look at my little list here. Goddess, what's on your heart, sis? Kurt, come to you next.
I don't know. I guess I don't know if we went back to guns and all that now, gun control and all that, but people fail to realize that a gun don't kill nobody until it's in that person's hand. And when it gets in that person's hand, it goes to that person's mindset. And the key question is, how many people, or shall I say, how many of us have mental institutions within our own community? How many blacks have owned actual mental institutions? If you ever worked with anybody that has mental issues, you cannot make them take their medicine. But now they're mandating us. See, you have to look at the whole picture. Now they're mandating us to take a coronavirus shot, but you can't mandate somebody take their mental health medication. So you pick and choose. So right now, people fail to realize that the cabal is real. If you don't know what the cabal is, I'm going to suggest you take time and you look it up. That's the type of people that's in power. So you have to also realize the fact that the one reason why America is one of the main countries that has not been infiltrated by outside sources. No really war on American lands because everybody has a gun. Everybody has a gun in America almost. So let's not look at guns as being a total problem. It's the people that's the problem. That's where the problem lies at. Because right now, that's the reason why we have America and where we stand in America is because we have guns. That's why a lot of things that we have, because they can't come in and do what they want to do with us now, that they want to change the new world order, because we do have guns. I can't wait to go buy me an AKA and go to the shooting range and learn how to use it properly. You will not infiltrate my neighborhood, my area, my house, none of that.
So, see, and the thing about it, listening to what's being said, if we're not careful, there's gonna be a lot of dead bodies laying in the middle of the street. There's gonna be a lot of dead bodies laying in the middle of the street. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Right here?
Yes.
It said exactly what was on my mind. Listen, one of my OGs, God bless the dead, growing up, I had more OGs that spoke to me that was dope things.
Hey, Kurt, you're a little bit low, brother. You're a little bit low.
I said, growing up, man, I had more OGs that was dope things than I ever had that was professors, right? And I never forget, man, you know, when I really started getting my little feet wet or whatever, you know what I mean? I used to keep, back then, the weapon of choice wasn't a 9mm, it was a 380. So I used to keep 2 380s on me at all times. And I never forget, man, Glass looked at me, he said, "Yo, you holding, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He like, "You think you got more guns than them?" And I had to ask him, like, "Guys, who you talking about?" And then I saw where his finger was pointing at. His finger was pointing at the police that was sitting on the corner. And I'm like, man, this just, you know what I mean? He like, "Yo, when it comes down to this artillery, you ain't gonna be able to beat them. When it comes down to this artillery, you ain't gonna be able to stop the military. The military got guns, man. They got weapons, man. I've been to an exercise at Fort Bliss where this real talk, man. If you set dead center across, north is out, north is above you, south is below you, west is on your left, east is on your right. Man, they fly a jet right across. You know how you set, you know how you go to those shows and you set in the bleachers and you looking down range and they got a jet, F-17 look like. He flying from west, right? The target is set due east, bro. The cat fly, and we thinking, you know, because, you know, okay, this is an exercise. We thinking that, okay, they told us he's going to hit the target, blah, 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 blah. So we thinking, okay, boom, he flying, boom, he going to let go the missile, whatever, boom, and it's going to hit the target. Okay, that's easy. That's simplistic. No, Raheem, he flies past the target. So everybody in the bleachers is thinking, oh, he failed to fire. He had a misfire. Do you know this cat let the missile go? Once he passed the target, the missile turned around and hits the ground a football field and a half away from the target. So we still thinking, okay, he done messed up. Man, 30 seconds later, guess what happened, Raheem?
What's that?
That 150, that 150 yards become a wasteland. The missile hit the ground. When it hit the ground, it had a digger in it. So it started digging, and it dug its way all the way to the target. The whole while it's en route, it's dropping like, you could call them grenades. It's dropping little charges. It's for runway, a runway assault. If you trying to blow up a runway, this guy could do a flyover, launch the missile after he done passed you. So the radar thinking, oh, he passed.
Mm-hmm.
Something's wrong. He done released the missile done turn around, come back. And then I think about that exercise in terms of where I live at, because Baltimore is a city of blocks.
Okay, wrap it up for me, Kurt.
So I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
You just can't. We ain't gonna have more guns than that, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying the gun lobby has a lobby. They got a real lobby.
Exactly.
And if you don't speak against the gun lobby, then you're not gonna win. I mean, at the end of the day, the gun lobby ain't thinking about, I hate to say it because baby girl right, but the gun lobby is not thinking about the cabal. They think about how much money they're gonna make off of telling us that we have to have a gun.
Exactly. Toya with a T.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Toya with a T. What's on your heart? Leonard, come to you next.
Well, I don't need one, but they got one. I don't know about everybody else. I'm not gonna buy anybody, but I'm not gonna let nobody come buy me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're gonna get rid of mine, I need to get rid of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not gonna leave me in a defense of self. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the history with Ike. Ike got the tendency to be wanting to put his hand on folks. So if he don't have his, I'm gonna need mine. But again, keyword is control, and we control that. For a long time, I didn't carry a gun because, again, I was possessed.
Mm-hmm.
I was possessed and blessed at the same time and didn't even know it. To be foolish enough to actually let a bullet slip out one of them bad boys one of them days, and whole life would have been gone forever because you don't understand that you're possessed by a demonic spirit that makes you want to do that. You walk around all that. We don't even think about all that. You understand what I'm saying? But even in my wrongdoing, I bet you my nieces and nephews know we don't play that. Because police is the last person you got to worry about. We don't do that. We don't talk none. You understand what I'm saying? But I still knew who I was. So we didn't pass down traditions. The traditions stopped with me. But the control part is that's the only way we can address this world. We can talk about, we can put whatever we want to. We got to understand the demonic spirit that's driven behind it, act like that. And a lot of people have them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we got to focus on. We got to figure out how we're going to change that. And if one of those ways is to, i.e., put or allow a religion in a school to bless the teachers to be able to deal with each other about care, anger and rage helps do that. I guess what are we going to put in perspective? If you want to shoot somebody, go join the military type.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you just can't do it out here on the streets just willy-nilly. If you want to do that, you got to join the military so it can be a directed, a murder on purpose because the government says so.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way it's not. You know what I'm saying? This is emotions that we're dealing with people, and we have to get to the root of that. So I'm just going to throw this out there real quick, right? So now if we talk about Flint, Michigan and their water issue, now a lot of the side effects had a lot to do with behavioral and learning issues that can have a possibility of contributing to some of those behaviors that we're seeing of gun violence and things like that. Now we're talking about this infrastructure bill because this lead poisoning from these pipes we probably didn't know hundreds of years ago. But again, here we go with, like a couple of people said earlier, a multitude of things are going on to drive up these emotions. And how do we come up with a solution for it? And there are so many solutions that we can put in place to conquer a lot of them. But are we going to be really willing to do it? Are we going to be really willing to get rid of all guns?
No.
Everybody. I mean, you talk about the whole globe, because the United States ain't going to get rid of their guns if all the other countries don't get rid of theirs. So
Exactly.
we know that, war supplies are here to stay, period. They're not going to go nowhere. And I'm not going to go for only the military and government get to have it and I don't have mine, because they can be tripping sometimes and I just need to be protected. So, you know what I'm saying? We have to come up with the next real solution. Now, what do? Do we care more in schools? Do we care more as parents? Do we care more as officers? Do we care more as government officials? You know what I'm saying? What are we going to do to the solution of getting rid of the root of the anger that drives people to want to murder each other? Okay, take away the guns. What that mean? You're not going to get murdered?
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? We got people killing their kids, baking them in ovens. They didn't use guns. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to look at all of the issues and all of the things that are going on. People can get killed with their bare hands. What do we do with that?
Exactly.
You understand what I'm
saying? That's good. That's good. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, just listen to the various, positions or whatever, having dealt with, gun violence and the bills and things like that, and writing workshops and stuff and related to gun violence. It is the failure of people to be able to control themselves that is the issue, not the making of guns. You can't look for people to blame. The person is dead because the person sold them a gun. No, it's not. It's not the truth. So as long as you keep making up your own excuses for why things are happening, you will never resolve the problem. People are going to always be at odds with each other and want to kill each other. That is as natural as that sun rising and setting.
So it has nothing to do with the guns?
No, this has something to do with the guns because you want it to have something to do with guns. And you want to blame a certain amount of people for a certain type of people for having those guns. And then you want to tell them, one, they don't need this and they don't need that or what have you. Do we need gun control? Yes. But we had gun control. We had a decent level of gun control. It just got ruled unconstitutional what New York City did to its residents in relation to gun control. The right to bear arms is very significant for the very simple fact it is to protect you, not just against anybody, but it's to protect you from the government. It's to protect you from anyone that wants to do you harm. That's what that gun is for. And if you don't have one, you're the underdog. And no one can deny that.
Again, what I'm hearing is if we're not careful with this gunplay, and I'm gonna put this on the screen what our public citizen said. If we're not careful with this gunplay, again, we're gonna have a lot of our dead bodies laying in the middle of the street, man.
There've always been dead bodies in the street. Where y'all was born and raised?
No. I'm talking about another number. It's almost like it's gonna be like you have to actually step over them because people don't have a regard for each other anymore. People don't care for each other, man. They'll shoot you down at the drop of a hat.
Well, you think they ain't killing them at their house? You think they ain't killing them at the corner store? You think they ain't killing them at the skating rink, the concerts, the malls?
That goes right into what I'm saying. People don't care for each other, and so yes, they are killing each other.
Didn't happen
and that's
yesterday.
what they're going to continue. They're going to continue. It didn't happen yesterday, but it's going to continue, and I think it's going to get worse.
Don't forget the church.
And so
don't forget the church.
So and let's not forget that we got Congress right now pushing for 18-year-olds to be able to carry guns at school.
Wow. Read that, Leonard.
Americans need to give people health care, including mental health care. Let's start with all these nutty white supremacists. Well, that's a whole new argument as well. Because before it was the black people killing everybody. Now we've seen where we got all these mass shooting on these white boys coming and they shooting people. But yet you don't charge him for having the gun illegally. You go after his friend for giving him the gun, but he walks out of court because he killed somebody. Y'all crazy as hell down here.
Hey.
That's plain and simple. But the way people are going about it and these emotions and everything is what's clouding people's judgment. You need to be careful being around certain people with guns. More people are killed by people that they know and they have relationship with than these accidental shootings. So
Rico.
one, you're in a climate of violence.
Mm-hmm.
Some people live like this every day. Y'all got guns on y'all persons everywhere you go. You drinking, you're under the influence of drugs and everything else, and just as simple as just disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
That just throw that in there. But this pandering about guns is absolutely ridiculous.
Everybody stand where they stand. But like I say again, if we're not careful with what we're doing with these guns, man, there's gonna be a lot of dead bodies, man. More than what we just mentioned. And I do agree with what was just said, but at the same time, we got to be a little more mindful. Rico, what's on your heart? VP, coming to you next, bro.
Yeah, two things could be true at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, guns are an issue because people are dying more by gun violence, especially in the black community, especially from black on black hands. But then you have so many more issues of people dying by violence, man. I mean, it's been a rash for the past year, man, of women killing their boyfriends and killing their babies and letting the boyfriends kill the babies. Not just the past year, the past few years. A rash of mothers just so mean and nasty the way they're killing these innocent children, along with children catching stray bullets. So the issue a lot of times has one root, and it's violence. We live in a sick society, a sick world, where violence is glorified. Like I said, in our young adults, our young black people's generation right now, they listening to this thing called drill music, where they actually bragging about killing each other and smoking on each other's memories. While the mama's crying and telling them, quit disrespecting us like this, quit bragging about my son being killed, and then my son friends rapping about your friends being killed. Even the dad is involved. It's a violent society.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, we could get easily distracted. You know, somebody could say, white people made gunpowder and guns, and then come back and say, well, when Marco Polo discovered it. And they'll come right back and still make that the big issue. When the issue is the deaths due to violence, the death of this child. See, people get distracted and they lose focus of the real issue. What was easily forgotten is where I said, well, why can't black people uphold the code or the standard of not participating in violence instead of with this no snitching clause that we have adapted? That's accepting a responsibility. That ain't blaming it on nobody else. I said us. Why is it that we can adapt a code and stick to it, promote it and preach it and make that part of our culture, but then we can't adopt the culture of not even doing anything to get in that situation where we have to worry about snitching, conflict resolution? So it's a violent society. And like I said, when it comes to, the race issue, I put it in there because it became worse. Violence has always been around, like Leonard said. People been killing way before guns existed.
Yeah.
But somehow it became popular. It became more acceptable to handle differences violently. Then when guns entered the picture, that made it more acceptable to end that conflict violently. It's still violent, but society has adapted to making violence acceptable. We even look at violence as competition in sport, entertainment. I love MMA. I love boxing. There's been quite a few people die in that ring. So sad when it happens. And I can't wait till the next fight.
Yeah.
We are hungry for violence. Society is sick, is warped. We need some mental therapy. We have been programmed as zombies to subconsciously want to handle everything aggressively when things don't go our way. So, now we have the tools to end that aggression quickly. Not only end the aggression, but to be the only aggressor. Sometimes the person being victimized ain't even being aggressive. They just straight up innocent victims.
Yeah.
But it's so easy. Human beings love convenience. So that's where the gun part come in. But the main part about it is if it wasn't a gun, it could be a knife, it could be a hand.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could just be the fact that you older and that baby ain't but 6 months and you decided you could put it in the oven because it can't jump up out the little pan you got it in and kick the door open.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm gonna read this right here. We're going to go to VP. It says, this is Public Citizen. I have to agree with Rico. Our American culture is sick. Why do we celebrate violence? Why can't we celebrate love? VP, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, everybody.
Man, you've been listening to the conversation for a minute, brother. We're talking about this violence. What's on your heart?
Without a general thing, from what Rico was saying a few seconds ago, it reminded me every day I go to work. No question about it. I got this guy I work with, and I don't know how he gets these videos, but every day he comes to work, he shows me somebody getting shot, somebody getting blown up, somebody getting hit in the car. He comes to, so, first couple of times he did it, I'm like, oh, it was like a knee-jerk reaction. Like, by week 2, I'd become numb to it. It was almost like, oh, what you gonna show me today? Even though, I still like whatever, but I'm like, what are you gonna show me today? I think that is the American culture, in due tale. I think a lot of people are still sensitive to the nature of the violence behind it, but because the way that we have allowed ourselves to be manipulated and the way the media uses it, we've become less sensitive to violence in general. So the sports, like, because we talk bad about how the NBA is now, but in the 80s and 90s, that was a violent sport. It's almost on the same level as, and we celebrated it. I think people choose to celebrate what makes their heart fonder. So if there's, like Leonard was saying, people have guns and weapons all the time, surrounded by guns and weapons all the time. Most of the stories that you do see are people who knew somebody or was acquainted with somebody that was killed. A lot of the Facebook and Instagram sprees of people wanting to go off on shooting sprees for the last 15 minutes were all somebody that they had some type of mental problem, which is what everybody was saying that needed to be addressed, be it psychological or clinically an issue with them. It was never addressed in violence, because that's what people think is the way to go, is pulling the trigger on somebody, is the new answer for this American way of life. I mean, it's all over the place, but because we celebrate the weapon so much, that's what, the idol of this particular country is.
I would like to add, Raheem, before you move on.
Yes, sir.
We have a tendency to do this, and I have to say something before you go any further. Stop using mental illness in this situation. Mental illness and violence don't just go together. There are people that are completely sane. They're just wicked. They're not mentally ill or sick or anything. They're just wicked, evil people. They're not mentally incompetent. They're not going through some type of mental disorder or anything.
Right.
There are some people that's just as selfish, and they don't care nothing about nobody else, and they'll kill you just like going to get something out the refrigerator. Because they don't care nothing about you. They're not mentally ill. So
and
stop, let's stop
right.
saying that these people committing crimes are mentally ill.
And see, that goes right back what I said about there's going to be a lot of dead bodies laying in the street. What we're gonna do, we're gonna transition over now to our topic of the day. We've been talking about a couple of things this morning, but now I think we're gonna jump into our topic. And I wanna who I'm gonna start this one off with. Rico, we'll start off with you, brother. Rico, you there?
Right here.
we're talking about the sex trap. The sex trap. And I could preface it all kind of different ways, but I want you all to go where y'all gonna go with it. But the sex trap. How vicious can it be?
Man, it could destroy your life. You know, everybody know you can get STDs and HIV just from being irresponsible, sleeping with the wrong person, being catfished. You know, you can I've seen men get killed because they were being baited up to get robbed, trying to buy some sex.
Mm-hmm.
They got trapped. See it on First 48 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Come over here and get some of the young stuff, man. You know, come on, daddy. What room you in? Come on, come by yourself. I got my girlfriend with me. We're gonna give you a threesome. Ain't that some bait?
Mm-hmm.
But you so you know, sort of related. I'm gonna tell you how we even get caught up in this sex trap though. Dopamine. That adrenaline rush. We love that adrenaline rush. It sort of pertains to the last topic and this topic. We get caught up in sex traps because we are looking for that last big explosion of adrenaline that comes with sex. And sometimes we'll make that so much the objective, we'll overlook a lot of things that lets us know, man, you putting yourself in a situation where you might not make it home.
Yep.
This might not be no sex involved. Somebody might be just trying to kill you or rob you. Trust me, I know. My car got shot up with me in it. SKS bullets. 7.62s. Fire coming out the barrel of that gun so long, I couldn't believe my eyes. I said, these niggas trying to kill me. Hey! Lord, if I get up out of here, I'm going to do something to them. But in the back of my mind, you know, sometimes you're in a situation where you have 1,000 things go through your mind.
Yeah.
The other thing in the back of my mind was, man, you knew something was up. You down here trying to get some tail.
Yep. The sex
now
trap.
You got to try to make it up out of here. You might not make it home, man. Bullets all in my car. I'm laying on the bottom side of my car playing dead so I can make them believe that they hit me. They mad about some tail. Sex trap. People having children with people just to make sure they can always be tied to them. Look at Brittany Renner, what she did with the basketball player. Then laughed about it. Yeah, I got him, y'all. I'm sick.
Looking for a next victim now.
But he wasn't thinking like that. He was just young and he was looking at them Instagram pictures. And he thought, man, you know, this is going to be a good one. I was like, I want her to be my girlfriend. We had another thing. She had a whole different objective.
Yep.
He got trapped. He got trapped by sex. You know, the potential for sex. So that really just goes to show, you know, how we have that urge, that adrenaline, man. Like I said, going back to the last topic and this topic, human beings have a craving and a desire that dopamine, once it kicks in your brain and that adrenaline gets going, man, ain't nothing like it. Even sometimes it's exciting, even when you in danger.
Wow.
That's why some people stay involved and stuff like that. They like living risky, living risky lifestyles, and so they're easily caught up in sex traps. And we see it, like I said, we see it happen all the time, man. All you got to do is read the newspaper.
Exactly.
People are leaving here being baited up for sex for all type of ulterior motives.
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Talking about that sex trap. Goddess, what's on your heart?
Oh, sex trap. Wow. When I looked at that, I was thinking sex trap or sex trafficking. So that's where my mind went. You see a lot of young guys. You see a lot of guys now. They get these young girls and they get them hooked and they take them to another level of life, from dancing to prostitution, to a different level in life. It's really big in the dance world. It's really big in the prostitution world, where the women start really liking this guy, and the guy gets really controlled, and it's really big out here. Uh, and so the guy is so controlling over the girl, um, that he makes her do whatever he wants her to do, or the fear of him, and not only the fear but the love of him as well. So you got fear, love, and everything. I love the way Goldie always put it. Once you get the mind, the planetarium, you take them to the planetarium. Once you get the mind, and everything goes. So I think Sex Trap goes a whole lot different ways. It just doesn't go one way.
Good. Leonard, what's on your heart? Sex Trap.
Well, I guess if you look at sex from such a negative point of view of that, I guess it would be a trap. But one, I mean, it ain't like it's just laying around and you tripped and fell in.
Oops.
I mean, sometimes, I guess I've lived a rather charmed life. For the very simple fact, I have a habit of doing exactly what I want, whenever I want. So ain't nobody never trapped me into doing nothing. So when you say sex trap, are we talking about people that have no discipline or control over themselves?
Majority of the time, that's who it is.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. So if you want to, I mean, is the conversation about avoiding them or what? I mean, it's. I don't look at sex that way.
Let me throw this. How can one avoid it if they can't find a discipline to get away from it? Because if a girl calls certain or girl or guy, whoever it is, they call each other on the phone. And if a person is driven by sex, they're not gonna think about nothing. They're gonna get in their car and they're gonna be on the way to go over there to do whatever it is, or running into whatever situation. Because they have to do. Well, they have no discipline. That's my point.
No,
don't have
discipline. Why can't they just want to have sex?
Leonard, if somebody tell you the situation, and I don't know Rico's whole situation he was talking about, but he said he felt some way about he shouldn't go there. I did hear him say that he felt he should not go in that situation, but he went anyway.
Oh, that's Rico.
Sometimes. No. I'm not. I'm not doing this to throw anything at Rico. I'm just using it as an example. Sometimes a girl don't call me, man, told me to be at her house. Her family gonna be asleep at about 12:30. I'll come on down to her house and she'll let me in the back door. Man, I know good and well. I ain't got no business going to these people's house, man, at no 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. But did I go? Yes, I did.
Oh, that's not a trap, is it?
I'm talking about the discipline part. I'm talking about the trap. I'm talking about the discipline part. I went anyway. Almost got caught. Man, they almost caught me in the girl room. I had to hide behind the door.
Like I said, we have two very different points of view when it comes to this type of thing.
Trap is.
Because one, a trap
before they get a little.
Yeah, because a trap makes me think of there is some deception going on. But you didn't mention any deception.
Let me ask you. I think I can clean up by doing it like this. Let me say this. Do you think throughout our history, how many people have lost themselves, lost their lives, lost other people because of sex or chasing behind sex or wanting to have sex?
Probably a lot. I mean, but see, these types of things are not unnatural to me. So one, I believe that if you're, other than you're a victim, you're doing what it is you want to do. So when you're talking about trap, who tricking who? Where's the trick in that? So it's more so the fact of, one, you're just not able to maybe control your lust. And if you have problems with that, then you need to get serious help, or you need to come up with a practice that keeps you from doing that.
It goes back to discipline. When you say that, it goes back to discipline. People don't have that discipline.
Everything. I don't care what argument a person has. Discipline is everything. So if you don't want to do it, you don't do it. Ain't no in between. You either, how you go somewhere talking about what you don't want to do, ain't gonna do it, shouldn't do it, but you standing fully erect, ready to get down.
Mm-hmm.
What? That's strange.
Some people would say that a man can't be raped by a woman. I don't agree with that.
Well, I mean, it depends. There's lots of different types of rape. She can take advantage of him, give him a drug, and shove handles and everything in him.
No, I'm not talking about where he penetrated her. That's the part I'm talking about, because my thing is certain things are certain part of your body react a certain way when certain things happen, and for a man to get an erection if certain things are being done to him, he may not want to be with this woman, but
hey, y'all losing me, man.
Stop. That is too strange. That is too strange.
We went from sex trap to rape.
That's
no.
victimization.
What I'm doing, I'm just talking about from the discipline side of. I'm still on the discipline side, but I see
it would be better to say that sometimes people allow sex a little too much priority, I would say, and it becomes something that is a burden to them. If you're having unprotected sex, getting diseases, and having children you don't take care of, and things of that's what you're doing. I can't think of anything bad that comes from sex other than something that you just don't want. What is it that you don't want? And then again, I have the situation of being able to control myself.
Well, yourself, but not everybody have that discipline.
Exactly.
Not everybody have that. It's I wanted to go into a situation, but I want to pull some more people into the conversation. But I wanted you to explain to me what you meant about something you just said. I'm gonna probably come back to that.
What is that? What was that? Because I forgot that fast.
You said, man, I don't forget to. You'll come back to me. VP, what's on your heart?
Don't worry about it.
I don't forget to. VP, what's on your heart? Unmute yourself, brother.
Listen, y'all go back and forth, just to go back and forth. I agree with Leonard. For the way we're using sex trap, is not so much of a trap when you're willfully doing it. I think it's more of what are you losing if you go down this path. And some people refuse to recognize the snare that's on the other end, i.e., we know from history what was written, what we've been told. Many countries and nations have been toppled over lust and wanting something more than just the monetary power or the prowess of strong arms. But Cleopatra and Alexander used sex as a weapon for them to have that area, even though we know the Trojan War was fought over sex. I mean, it's all, it's more to it, disrespect principles and all that type stuff. But all in all, it was because two people laid down together or one person had an obsession more than the other person. As y'all two are alluding to before I got on, is regardless, if one person is disciplined, doesn't mean the other one is. And the power of persuasion is strong. You can, if you let somebody wear you out long enough, even Leonard, I know Leonard be like, I'm gonna just cut them off when I say no, I say no. But there's people out there who are more empathetic and seem to keep people around because they have something to gain from it. Kind of like the topic we were talking about last week is why people say yes. They say yes because there's something that they're going to gain from this. And even though this one person, be a coworker or you try to keep a carpe diem, but you got somebody that's out there that you may be a little attracted to who may have a upper management spot in a job, and because of the power, and we know nowadays, even though this is just hypothetical, I ain't saying this is what happens, but people know that in many corporate areas, it's about who you know and not what you know. And people on both genders will use that to their advantage. I guess that's the example I'm using more for if it's a sex trap, because people, these people will test you, and they'll use the power of lust and seduction to slowly, they don't even have to have sex with you, but they get information away from you that you probably would coddle and hold to yourself if they didn't make you vulnerable enough to let this information go. And then, you know, they find you in a moment of weakness, then you could fall into that sex trap. Now, if you have sex with them, that takes you to a whole different level, you know, good or bad.
That's good. That's good. Toya, you want to talk to me? That sex trap, the sex trap. Toya? Okay, we may have lost Toya there for a second. Bishop, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, man. How y'all?
Hey, doing good, man. We're talking about the sex trap. What comes to your heart when we say the sex trap?
Being taken captive by a woman, beauty or physical attributes, and then being lost or so immersed in trying to get with her that you lose focus of who you are. You remember the movie Rage in Harlem, Forrest Whitaker and Robin Givens?
Yes, I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, he was so captivated about her that he was willing to give up everything, money and family. Because, and then he hadn't had any sexual relationship, but what took him away was his overwhelming desire to be with that woman. And if you hook up with a lady and sometimes you're a virgin your first time and she blows your mind, then, you know, you give up everything. I think Percy Sledge came up with a song many, many moons ago, When a Man Loves a Woman. And so
that's old Percy Sledge.
She can do no wrong.
Old Percy Sledge, yes, sir.
Yeah. So, you know, you look at the nature of the conversation and understanding what gets carried away. And then you find yourself saying, man, I'm separated from my family because of her, and vice versa. Go the same way with a woman toward a man. You know, he comes in on and sweeps off her feet, or she is so infatuated with him that she disconnects herself with friends and family to be with him, to please him. And regardless of how negative he is or abusing her, it's something about that whammy that makes her forget about her man.
that whammy that make her forget about her mammy. Ain't that something? Boy, look at him. Rico, what's on your heart? I'm about to come to you next.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and hit Badger and Kurt them because I already answered this and I'll come after them.
All right, let's go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
I mean, to me, I view this topic about the same as the rest of the stuff we were talking about this morning. You know, me being the age that I am, you know, I'm in my 30s. And I remember in school, you know, you weren't a man unless you were sleeping with a woman. Or you weren't a woman because you weren't wearing makeup and sleeping with a man. You know, they pick on you for being a virgin instead of being respected for the fact that you're not sleeping around. So, like, to me, when I hear you say sex trap, you know, I go all the way back to, like, school. Because it literally feels like if you're not having sex, you can't be a part of society. Like, there's so much greed and lust in society that nothing else matters. If a person has high morals and respect for other human beings, is looked down upon nowadays. Because of the fact they don't want to take advantage of people and fill up their pockets. The fact of whatever, you know, any other good morals. You know, so like when you're forced in school, you're either going to get bullied because you're choosing to be a virgin, or you have sex and join the crowd. And from there, it can grow into a person end up raping somebody else, into all kinds of things, depending on how a person develops or chooses to live. So it's like, for me, I thought I had to sleep with a woman because that's what they expect. So I have to do what they say. You know, so like I view trap on a very interesting perspective just for the fact of it literally feels like society is in this mindset of the 7 deadly sins and don't want to get out of it.
Wow. Curtis, the sex trap. What's on your heart, brother?
Absolutely nothing, because I don't really understand the paradigm. I could go in so many different directions with it. There really ain't nothing on there.
Okay. Okay. Good deal. Rico, coming back to you. Monique, coming to you next.
I was just going to say, get Monique, because you ain't asked her yet, and I'll come after her.
Lord, look at here now. Look at here now. Monique, what's on your heart, sis? Monique? Monique, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
With sex trap, the only thing that I can think of is like, with online dating, where we've been hearing situations where women been, setting up the guys to be robbed. But it's under the pretense that, we gonna, have sex. So that's the only thing that I can, really think of when it comes to sex trap. And then also it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if it's a trap, but I remember where guys used to, play these games where, they used to bet amongst each other who can get, this woman, quicker than the other, or who can get with this person,
That's good.
That's the only thing I can think of when it comes to, because for me, I think more like trafficking, because I've seen that a lot, where, especially with young girls being, trafficked, to older men. I've seen that.
Good deal. Good deal.
So
now, yeah, I remember at the beginning of the conversation, I said I didn't want to put too much out there. I wanted to see where y'all was going to go with it, and then I'll come back after that. Okay, when talking about the sex trap, where I wanted to go with it from the beginning is and I think Badger touched on where I was going with it about.
Raheem, wait, before you say something, can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, because sorry, hey everybody, how you doing?
How you doing this morning?
One thing I hadn't heard say in terms of sex trap is videoitis, or these days social media-itis. I think that that's probably one of the most pronounced sex trap that's been happening and going on, because from a videoitis standpoint, they see these girls, they see these guys in these videos, and then they want to mimic it. And the reason I call it videoitis is because it's a disease. They think that that's how they really go out everyday life, looking and acting. So then now they getting, not anything wrong with colored hair or anything like that, because I do color, but to the term, or to the degree of the outfits and the extremely long nails. They think that the video version of Cardi B is how they're supposed to be in everyday life. And so then they mimicking songs. Then they need to, prove that they WAP, right? And then have like and then you also have like just social media that has done the same thing. And then you have, what's been birthed, the fans only or something like that it's called. So that's sex trap too, because now you have men coming to look, women coming to look, men performing, women performing, these and mimicking these things that sexually revs people up and gets them trapped, because they think that this is, oh, this getting me paid, or this is getting me notoriety, or I'm gonna be attractive to the men in the club because I'm looking and dressing like Cardi B. And I just threw her out there because she's popular, but it's numerous of others that could be used as examples.
Exactly. Now, when I said the sex trap, where I wanted to go when I was like again, I wanted to hear everybody's what they thought about it, and I didn't want to go into this part until I got to this point right here. But the sex trap, from the time you become innocent, and you lose your innocence, and you jump over that line, and you have sex for the first time, is it a trap? Can you find yourself trapped into that whole scenario of man, I wish I hadn't done, I wish I would have waited, I wish I would have, taken time to not do it at that particular time or with that particular person, and you become trapped in this whole aura, however you say that word, whatever, y'all smarter than me. Yeah, that's what it is. Y'all smarter than me. But of this whole sex thing, you get caught up and you get trapped in sex, and once you jump over that threshold, and once you indulged in it, you can't go back and say, well, I did it last night, I'm gonna erase it, it never happened. You crossed the line. Goddess, what's on your heart?
Can you repeat that? I want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly, because you come in a whole lot of different ways.
Goddess, you want me to repeat all that?
Just
look at Leonard laughing at you.
You can go in so many different ways with this, but because the trap is
let me say this. Once you have sex the first time, you're no longer a virgin. Are you at that time trapped in this thing called sex? Can you go back? What do you wish you hadn't done it? Or the trap is, once you do it, you can't go back. Once you lose your virginity.
I've never been trapped when I decided to become a virgin and change that. I wasn't trapped beforehand. I made a choice to do what I need to do.
Goddess, listen, I'm saying, do you become a victim of this thing called sex? Do you become a victim to this thing called sex after you do it for the first time? Because before you did it, you don't know what it is. You have ideals, you have mindsets. People may talk to you about it, or you may have talked to somebody about it, but you never experienced it.
I get it now. So really what you asking us is, the minute we experience that outcome of sex, that I can't really, ecstasy of sex.
Yeah.
That final explosion, the first time we experience
exactly.
Do we become addicted?
Are you trapped? Yes, absolutely.
Do you want to keep getting that experience to the point that that's all you concentrate on now? Because it's almost like that, what they say that first hit of crack is.
Exactly.
Okay, now I'm getting ready to answer your question. I don't allow anything to trap me, period. I try my best. The worst thing that I have right now is food. Food is a entrapment, but sex is not an entrapment, because if that person is not treating me right and not doing what they need to do, or there's other avenues that I feel is not there, like for example, if I'm married and another guy comes around and he's just all handsome and he's everything that I thought that I wanted, but I've already made a commitment over here, I'm not sex trapped. I'm not gonna leave what I have already committed to. Like you have to have some type of morals. You have to have some type of commitment to self. There's nothing should make you break your boundaries to a point where nothing is just so much better. So I love that 30-day rule. You can stop anything with 30 days. Sex is a wonderful thing. Don't get me wrong. I love it. Okay. But it doesn't rule me.
Okay.
Rule me. God rules me. That's it.
Okay. And see what you just said is, it goes back to the last conversation we was talking about, when we talk about having disciplines. Not everybody have that. It sounds as though from what you're saying, you do have that, but not everybody have that same discipline. Some people would do whatever they have to do to get sex or to be with that person so they can have sex again.
But
Not
that's with
everybody.
anything.
I,
That's
that,
where
that's
everything goes. That's where mental illness comes in. That's where not self love comes in.
Let's stay where we at. Let's stay where we at. That's what I'm talking about is the sex trap. That's what we talking about, the sex trap. And some people, not everybody have that same discipline that you have. I applaud you, and I'm glad that you do. But not everybody have that. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I was glad you clarified that, man. I mean, you know, because like you said, when you said sex trap, you know, I was like, Leonard, I think of something deceptive.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I automatically read it for that. Because if I assume trap is deceptive, it's not too many traps I find positive, not even the one that they rapping about selling dope out of.
Mm-hmm.
So I automatically assume you was talking about having something deceptive happen to you via the means of sex.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I went that direction. But now that I get it, you're saying being trapped by the pleasure of sex.
Yes, exactly.
And that being your ambition and your motivation all the time. And it still sort of leads back to what I was saying with my situation. See, I want to prove that I can lay it down, and every woman who's gonna want to come back for seconds. I needed another witness. Can I get a witness? That was my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm gonna go down here and make me a witness.
Mm-hmm.
Know it might be a little dangerous, but boy, when I'm done, I can't wait to see how she acts.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna be blowing my phone up. That was my motivation. That was my drive. So I got trapped in it. I was addicted. A lot of people are sex addicts.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They can't forget that first rush.
Mm-hmm.
And pleasure, you know what Goddess was saying, we all have a weakness. We all find a ultimate pleasure in something. Some find it more in sex, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
Some find it so much in sex that they're addicted to porn.
Yep.
All because they're trying to get that first response that they got. And man, I don't even want to imagine what crack is like.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know what it was. My first time having sex, I couldn't control my toes or nothing.
Yep.
Them things went crazy.
Yes,
it almost scared me. It felt so good.
Mm-hmm.
Lord have mercy. Nobody had no talk with me or nothing.
Look at Leonard.
But at the same time, I wanted it. I wanted it again.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it again because it felt so good.
Mm-hmm.
And we human beings, we love to always indulge in things that make us feel good.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is overindulging.
Exactly.
The problem is having moderation or not having moderation.
Mm-hmm.
See, it gets to a point where you have to say, well, you know what? I got to respect this activity because even though it felt good and it was so easy to get that response from my body, for my hormones to act the way I did and for me to feel like fireworks were shooting through my toes and fingers.
Mm-hmm.
For me to do that, I got to do something that I shouldn't be doing all the time. Because if I ain't careful, I can make a baby. I get a disease. Me and Raheem talked about this. I got some stuff going on with that now. First experience. What's the odds of you catching a STD? Your first sexual experience.
Mm-hmm.
All trying to taste that urge. Trying to chase that desire, that last reaction that comes with it. Both people are looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it's over, it's over. Once you get it, everything over.
Exactly.
So the thing is you have to respect that process.
Mm-hmm.
We have to respect what sex really is. And sort of going back to the way I took the sex trap to be, you know, you hear people have opinions all the time. You know, that's a good thing about opinions, don't mean that they're truth or fact.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing we call life, so many people live so many different ways. But going back to the way that I thought you meant trap, you know, it's easy for somebody to go getting what they want to get, but not knowing that the person is giving it to them got an ulterior motive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Go to give it to you don't mean they love you. And that's a whole different conversation though. Let me go to right now. Let me go to either VP or Friday. Both of y'all in the same window. So whichever one of y'all want to talk right now. What's on your heart? One of y'all.
Oh no. I was thinking on how I'm going, which way I was gonna go with it. From a first time experience, I don't remember my first, like, I don't remember the first time. I think it's more, for me, it was the experience overall than the feeling I got from it. I think that's what Rico's pretty much saying is, although the feeling's good, the experience and the know-how of getting that rush of people hitting you back for another try is more of the trap than the actual physical act itself. I think that's where I'll probably land at, is when I'm thinking of how you say this and people have sex for the first time, or or they got a rush so big they got to have it again. I think it's eventually you're chasing the experience, like somebody who gets drunk for the first time and don't have a hangover or throw up, and they have a really good time at night at the club or out with their friends, but then they go and they do it again, and this time you get the hangover and you get the vomiting and you get the upset stomach and you get the gut rot, and you wonder what went wrong. That's why I can't see it as a sex trap, more of entrapment, and because you're finding yourself repeating cycles just to experience that same thing again. Even people, including myself, who made my mistakes in the past, I was never chasing the sex. It was because I was either felt alone, and I wanted to be with somebody, or I felt like I wasn't getting heard and was listened to. But because you like I was saying earlier, you make yourself vulnerable to that. For you to have, like, even what Goddess was saying, you have to make yourself vulnerable to have sex. I mean, there's people out there now that will hit each other up. That's what Tinder and Craigslist and all that was made for before. Just bang, bang, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. But for the majority of people, which this topic really relies to, is you get a trap or entrapment, because you find yourself going back for that dopamine rush that he's talking about, but it's something else that's built from that. There's a seed that's laid in the ground, and something's growing from it. Weed or not, you're getting a harvest, and that's what the trap is you keep going back to this garden that you don't belong to and harvest.
Absolutely. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Please, Brother Pete.
Yes, sir. How you doing, DKM Radio Morning Glow?
What's going on? What's going on, man? How you doing this morning?
Doing good, sir. How about you?
Hey, doing well. We're talking about the sex trap, and I'm gonna give you the clarity that I didn't give everybody else when we first went into this. When you do it for the first time, you step outside of the realm of being a virgin. Do you become a trap? Do you become trapped by sex at that time? Does sex have a tendency to take over your life if you're not careful?
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. That's not necessarily a step for everyone. Your experience can just get
Pete, you're a little bit low, brother. Are you talking directly into the phone? You're a little bit low. Want to make sure everybody can hear you.
I think so. Let me see here. Does it sound any louder now?
Yeah, sound much. Yeah, it does. It does. There you go.
Okay. I don't think that's a standard norm for everyone to lose their mind and lose control after their first experience. But certainly it can have that effect. Generally, it seems like those that have been touched and fondled or molested tend to go wild with it. In their younger adolescent years, they can go sideways with it. But I don't think that's the standard norm. Certainly, the potential is there. If your interest,
Rico equated it. Rico equated it to and he's never done crack or something like that. But he equated it to a person that's like on crack for the first time, when they get that rush, when they get that feeling or whatever they get when they do crack for the first time. He equated it to that. Could it be the same thing?
Right. See, I agree with the sharp brother Rico. That absolutely, that's what I was going through. The nerves, the feeling, the emotion, the satisfaction, the climaxing of it all, and even just some of the acts that take place. Different ones may find different aspects appealing, and they may want to repeat and experience these more often, and before you know it, you're sideways. So potential is definitely there, but I don't, like I said, I don't think that's the norm. When we're younger, we tend to, unless we've had a good education, application, instruction, guidance about the subject matter, you can easily go, you know, a little out of the way, get a little crazy with it. Ego can kick in, you know, prowess can kick in, and you may find yourself somewhere you don't want to be. But you know, it has its place. Definitely important, but it's not something that you do every moment of your life. So
exactly. Let me go to Badger. What's on your heart, brother?
Just listening to everything's being said, you know, I'm just thinking about everything, and I guess my perspective, and because of how I view the world, you know, in my opinion, people have been distracted by so many different things. A lot of stuff has been lost when it comes to interacting, respect, and morals of other human beings. Um, you know, we look at everything from music to media. Like there's trend on TikTok about, you know, why aren't you in uniform? People changing their outfits to look sexy and stuff like that. So to me, there's just people are looking for something to fill the emptiness that they feel for whatever reason it is, and whatever they decide helps them fill that emptiness.
That's good. That's good. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. The sex trap.
You know, it is different for everybody, I guess. You know, I don't think sex is a bad thing, but you can get carried away with it and just be completely irresponsible. You know,
do you agree? Because I had a conversation with somebody about this. It's been a while ago, and they were saying that they don't think that, because some people came out see that they was addicted to sex. They had a sex addiction, and I was saying that I think that can be possible, but they were saying to me that that's just a person that want to have sex all the time. There's no such thing as a person addicted to sex. What do you say to that?
No, addiction is in various things. You know, you can get addicted to a lot of things, but a change in habit and behavior could change that as well. All addictions can be changed if you so desire.
So there is a such thing as a sex addiction.
Yes, you can be addicted. You can be addicted to drinking coffee. You know, so the addiction is not the issue. The issue, I think, is one, people who equate sexual experiences to negative situations. I mean, I guess if you you know, some people, I don't understand why you know, some people do things and then say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Well, what did you expect? I mean, at what point did you go black and just forget? I mean, how do you operate? You know, without, you know, guidance of some type, whether it be your own or somebody else's. You know, I guess people do regret. I think it's more so regret. That's better. I think regret is a better word for why some people feel a certain way about sex, period. And but you know, one, I'm not one for this. Somebody else is to blame. Unless you've been victimized. My mother even used to say, even in certain relationships, you know, that people have with one another that looked horrible from the outside, why does that person keep attending that? Why is that person always in that situation? What is it about this situation that this person is so attracted to? That's what they need to find out. It's one thing to be getting beat up, and it's another thing to keep showing up for it. So, you know, people have to look into themselves, and I do know that people do have negative experiences with sex or what have you.
Yeah.
But I don't think sex is that big a deal unless you make it a big deal.
And it's amazing how and people say this all the time, you know, something that was created to be so beautiful could be turned
I don't even know nothing about that.
Turn
that
into
whole sentiment.
Yeah.
You know, and also you don't, all you have is your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you apply some moral values and some ethics to that, that may help. But without that, you should seek to enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm. Good deal.
You know?
Good deal. Mm-hmm. Let me go to Monique. Monique, what's on your heart, sis? We got a few minutes before we get out of here.
You could always just say no.
Some people don't want to, Leonard.
I know they don't want to.
Yeah, some people don't want to. Yeah. Friday. I tried to go to Monique, but I think she may have some issues with the line. Friday, what's on your heart, sis?
Can't be out here just.
You know, I think the trap starts long before.
I come back. I come back to you, Monique.
I don't know which way to go with this. So, sex, I do believe that it can be an addiction. And as far as, you know, getting trapped, you know, I've probably been in those situations a time or two. And yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Cool bean.
I'm sorry.
Friday.
I think the trap is what, in my mind, the trap is set long before you're entangled in it. So when I think about even after your explanation or clarification, you know, I still think that as far as the sex trap, it's what's set out before you get entangled into it. And so what we feed ourselves, what we're exposed to, adult or young, what we think is what's going to get us to that goal line. So, you know, they'll say, you know, to that, like the over sexuality in videos, and the over sexuality in TV and social media is the trap. And once you get entangled into that, then you're trying to figure out how to get yourself out of it, because either one, as what was already stated, you enjoy the feedback that you're getting, the attention that you're getting, the feeling of it, or now you just give up hope, unfortunately, and say, well, I'm out here now, so I might as well be the best out here one I can be. But trap itself, I think, is those things that's before us that get us entangled into it in the first place.
Okay, good deal. Toussaint, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right, man. I just
Toussaint say he
I
late.
don't want to talk about what y'all talking about.
You don't want to talk about
I know Toussaint don't.
Come on, man.
We about to go straight on stage.
Yeah, he's got that Spider-Man outfit.
Come on, Toussaint. The sex trap, man.
You know what I thought about?
Yes, sir.
What's that? Go ahead. I'm not clear on the subject, but what you just said?
Talking about the sex trap. Once you do it the first time, once you jump over that hurdle the first time, do you become addicted to that thing called sex? Can you get caught up in that trap?
Stop, Toussaint.
It's better for a man to not even touch a woman. That's scripture. That's better. If the most powerful men in the world that have ever come across the land has been trapped up or got caught up by, I don't know. Adam says to even in his statement, he said, "This is bone of my bone, flesh is my flesh."
Lord. Go ahead, brother.
then I can imagine the conversation. I'm just saying, because when he knew he was naked, the tables was turned on humanity. What? And we've been in trouble ever since.
Been in trouble ever since.
And you talking about trap? You know what I thought about, Leonard?
What?
Trap caught up in a two-way long set.
Wow, Lord. Cassandra,
I don't have to say no more.
Bye,
y'all.
Look, you don't said plenty, brother. You don't came
day
in and
too,
said plenty. Cassandra, what do you say to that, Cassandra? The sex trap.
Yeah, it can be a trap, and for some people it's more of a trap than others. I happen not to fall for the trap, but no.
That's the queen right there.
The last 22 years, I've not fallen for the trap, but I've fallen for the trap. I've fallen for the trap back in the city. So I like Tucson. I'm going to take the fifth on this one.
Lord, I ain't never seen y'all run from nothing.
I'm just saying, 22 years, you got me beat.
Trying to heal. That's why. He's just trying to heal.
That's the example right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Bishop, what's on your heart, Bishop?
An interesting conversation, great point of views. Hey, you gonna mess around? I'm not gonna go down the road.
Don't let him trap you, Bishop. Don't let him
that
rock
man,
you.
you know what? You sure say that right. He a show try to one
Yes, he will.
I'm just the question asker. That's
make secret tell it all.
Tell the whole. If you're gonna tell it, might as well tell it all. Let me see. Rico, talk to me, brother. We're going to get out of here. What's on your heart?
You know, I think we have to remember, not only humans, but I think all living things rotate around reward. And so, you know, when it depends, like Cassandra said, I love what she said. You know, it can affect certain people differently.
Yeah.
You know, and especially if you don't have other activities to find reward in, that might be your only reward. That might be your only place that you find pleasure, because you don't participate in anything else. And so, you know, you give it. I can see, you know, you asked the question, is sexual addiction real? Well, that's for the professionals. I'm always go along with the professionals. And along with that sexual addiction, you have an obsession to keep continuing to reach that climax. So, you know, some people know how to sort of temper that down. You know, they're not so impulsive. But we are human beings. We got to understand our basic nature is for reward.
Yeah.
That's our basic nature. And whatever pleases us the most when we get these rewards, that's most likely what we might end up becoming extremely obsessed with, addicted to.
Yeah.
Some addictions and obsessions are good. Some are negative, depending on what you're doing. I like that analogy you brought up when you said that about something so good for you can be so bad. You know, that is very necessary for you to tell people this, because I'm gonna be honest with you. The first time you reach that climax, you think you're in heaven. You can't even imagine anything else being bad that can happen. You got to remember that unwanted child. You got to remember that disease. So, you know, you have to respect that activity. Once again, we have to respect that activity.
Yeah.
But some people don't respect the activity because, you know, they abuse it. And so therefore it can become a trap. Just like with anything that makes you feel good.
Exactly. Now, Leonard, what you laughing at over there?
Man, it's just funny to me. You know, you have to understand that it's funny to me. First of all, it's funny to me because Rico changed the way he said pleasure this last time.
He changed it up on you?
Yeah, say it like you from Alabama, Rico. when Rico first
go back and listen to the recording.
When Rico first started coming on the show, he would always stop and say, "Pleasure." Pause and then start talking again. But this time,
I mean, just think about it though, man. That's a big part of our existence.
Yes.
Human beings, they want things that please them.
Yeah.
Yes. And I fall into that trap.
Out of it.
Because I prefer a good time. I just prefer a good time all the time. You know, regardless of what's happening, the way I try to find positive, it's not always related to one thing. Like this particular issue is the sex issue. And one, it is natural. And I think that sometimes people mistakenly believe that even with pleasure, you still have to be responsible.
Yeah. Even with what pleasure? How you say it?
I can't say it like Rick.
But Leonard, you said you like to have a good time, and I'm sure we all do like to have a good time and enjoy ourselves. And we had a real good time, man. Saturday, Leonard, we had a real good time Saturday at the friends and family game day.
Yes.
But should we tell the truth, Leonard?
Well, first of all, y'all cheat. That's why. No,
you was on my team.
I should say the rules.
Okay.
are crazy, but it was a good time.
Yeah.
We had some good people there, and I enjoyed, being there. But
we got whipped.
We got
whipped.
If
we gonna tell the story, might well tell
them new rules, and between Raheem and his wife and these rules.
Man, I didn't set those rules. Now, the people, I let them set their own rules at the table. But just for the record, Leonard, could we tell the whole story, man? Could we tell the whole story?
Tell the whole story there, right?
The first time we sit at the table, me and Leonard sit at the table, we was playing against my wife, and she, another young lady was her partner. Man, they ran a 10 on us the first hand, man. And ended our game before we got started.
Which was a rule I didn't know nothing about.
But
it's something you can't help. It's what was dealt.
Man, listen, and that's just when you're playing spades. If they get a 10 on the first hand, it's over. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
That's a new rule for me.
You already lost.
I didn't. Right, I'd throw them in. I'd throw them in if they got them. But I wasn't aware of that rule. But it still was a good time. I'm learning how to play Uno again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's really new. The whole Uno thing for me and these new rules. Man, but it was a good time, and thank folks for coming out.
Absolutely, man. And we're looking to do it again. If y'all can put on your schedule, we're getting the date right now, but we're looking to do it again next month. At some point in February. So y'all come out and have a good time with us, man. And hopefully, Leonard, we won't lose like we lost the last time.
Oh my goodness!
We lost real bad, man. We lost real bad. We lost real bad, brother. I ain't never took the first hand of 10. I said, Leonard, man, get one more, Leonard. Get one more book, man. We just need one. Man.
See,
but listen,
cut the deck.
Leonard cut the deck.
See, that's the problem.
Oh my goodness.
It's always it's the cutter. They didn't cut right.
Yes.
And thank you. That, and you know what? I think that's what it really was.
Yeah. He ain't cut the deck right. He ain't do something right.
Uno is so foreign to me as a game now. I got to sit down and relearn how to play the game because I missed.
Again, man, I want to thank everybody for coming out, man, and having a good time with us. Rico, what's going on today at 3:00, sir? Rico, you there?
I'm in the restroom. We might want to get somebody else to do that real quick.
Okay, Leonard, what's going on at 3:00?
Get a chance to hear the show in its entirety. Log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3:00 Eastern today.
Good deal. Anybody have anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that everybody pays attention to being sex trapped.
Stop it, guys.
Good deal.
I'm gonna throw something in there too.
Okay.
Like Leonard said, sex is good, but just like with anything we experience, it gives us reward and pleasure. Do it responsibly. Drink responsibly. And have sex responsibly.
Exactly.
You have to have moderation and respect for a lot of these things that makes us feel good. You can't overindulge in it or any too much of anything becomes a problem.
Yep.
That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. VP, you look like you got some on your heart over there, brother. No?
No.
Okay. I'm looking at you like you got some on your heart over there, boy. Like it's on the tip of your tongue. You want to say it? Go ahead, say it, VP. Say it, brother. Listen.
Leave that man alone.
I know, right? Listen, yeah, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow to be a part of your day. It is now 10:12. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light in you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please be blessed.